actually how it started. I just wanted to do something useful, and then little by little it became bigger. I don't know what to say about myself. Go with the flow, and it's Peru, so every day is another day.
Thank you, Rosita! It's crocodile. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stefanie. I'm from Belgium, but I've been living in Peru for 7 years now, and I started LENA in 2012. It has been very successful because the children are happy to come, and they really come well. Although they know they have to read here and do mathematics and make their homework, they're still so happy to come, and of course there's also a part in the day where they can play, of course. LENA it's a project, it's an official NGO in Peru, but for a lot of people, for a lot of children, it's just a place where they can be child again. Curahuasi has a lot of problems at home with violence, alcohol abuse, and also poverty. So for these children, this is a place on heaven, I guess, where they just can be children again and don't have to think about their worries. That's for me the most important. So these are the three target groups we have. So we have the toddlers, the children with a disability, and we have the children, the bigger children for making homework. The special children, at this time we have 9. So we have children with syndrome of Down, blind, visually impaired, autism, speech disorder, and fetal alcohol syndrome. So we have a very varied group of children coming here. They have also a very varied schedule, so some children come all day, some children come in the morning, and some in the afternoon. It all depends on their possibilities and what we think is best for them. We try to be as modern as possible, so we're always following or reading articles or following the trends that are going on in education. So there are some things we try to do. One is, for example, Sherborne. Sherborne is a movement technique that is made by Veronica Sherborne in Canada, and is now used in a lot of countries already, and it's through movement they get more self-esteem and body awareness. It's really beautiful. There are some movements that any teacher would do, or any person working with children would apply these movements, but when you really use the technique and you really study more about it, there's also movements or things you didn't think about, or you didn't realize where it was good for to do it. So it's really nice that we have this background, and we had somebody giving a workshop here. He came 2 weeks, especially from Belgium, just to train us and the Peruvian teachers. So that's really nice. We also do, for example, writing dance. It's writing through music. So instead of sitting on a paper, sitting on a chair, writing on a paper, really small, we work with big movements with music, and the children are dancing, or on the floor. It can be on the window, it can even be on the table. So children are happy, because when can you write on a table? Never. But with this you can, and so children are very motivated to participate, and in the meantime they're working on their motor skills or they find motor skills also to write. So that's one. We also have the multi-sensory room or classes. We have a dark black class that we can make totally dark, and we have different kinds of light effects and different kinds of music. It can be classical music, it can be sounds of the nature, animal sounds, and we do different kinds of therapy. It can be relaxing, but it can also be stimulating, where we try to stimulate their senses. So using eyes, using your nose, using your taste, using your touch. So all the senses are getting involved. But really, we try to specify on one sense at the same time, at one time. So not using everything at the same time. No, only looking, only feeling, only smelling, only tasting. So they get more attention. They put more attention on it. And that's a really nice classroom and a really nice class, and we do it with the toddlers as well as with the children with a disability, because mostly it's used with children with a disability, but we use it with everybody, and we see that everybody benefits from it and relax from it. So we do that. We also do multisensory stories. So instead of just reading a book, we're also going to let them, for example, the child in the book is washing his hands, then the children can also touch the soap, smell the soap, maybe touch water, or when they're in the woods, we take smells of the woods, or we take plants. And so we try to make the story more vivid or more alive for them, so they enjoy it even more than a story. I'm thinking, what else are we doing? A lot more, definitely, that I'm now forgetting. With Clarissa, for example, she's one of the children in a wheelchair. She's now 16 years old, and she comes since she was 10, 11 years old. What is a big difference, of course, in growing up. She's in a wheelchair, but she has cerebral palsy, but she can talk normally. She has also a mental disability, but for normal conversation it is possible. So she can tell us how she feels, what she thinks, how she feels about her disability, and she tells us also about her home situation, and it's a really tragic home situation where there's a lot of abuse in the family. And with her, last year she tried to kill suicide because she just didn't see any positive thing in her life. The only thing she actually really says is like, I'm happy I can come to LENA. But when there's no project, she's at home and she suffers a lot. And every evening we have to bring her home again where she doesn't want to be, so that's really hard for us. So she suffered a lot, but we talk a lot with her, we work with psychologists with her. And for me, it's one of the cases or one of the children that I feel a lot of connection with. She's also, I made her the godmother of my oldest daughter, because I invited her to the birthday party, and she asked like, can I be her godmother? And I was like, of course you can be, and she was so proud to do it. And I invite her to other family parties, so I really try to involve her a little bit in my family also. She asked me several times if she could live with me, but for me at this moment it's not possible to take in a bigger child. I also have 2 children and the project and so much work. I would not be a good mother for her. I think it would be too much for me. But it's hard to have to refuse this to a child or a young woman who really doesn't want to go home. So with her I have a really special connection. The problems the most difficult is to find good Peruvian staff members, for example, because Curahuasi is a small town and there's not a lot of job opportunities. So everybody who succeeds to go to a university and to get a higher education, they go to the big cities also for work. There are a lot of people who don't come back to Curahuasi to live in Curahuasi. They go away and they try to have a better life somewhere else in bigger cities. So to find somebody who's educated, like a psychologist or a physiotherapist, to work here. Also, we are a small project, so we can't give like a really big salary, or how do you say it, like they do in big hospitals or something. We're a small project, so that's really hard to find decent people who want to live in Curahuasi and don't earn so much money as you could do as a private.
Yeah.
María también es de Perú, pero vive en Estados Unidos.
Y el señor también vive en Estados Unidos. Y quieren darnos una clase, ellos desde Estados Unidos y nosotros aquí en Perú. ¿Está bien? ¿Sí? Es loco, ¿no? Están totalmente al otro lado del mundo.
Yay! That's so good. Very good. Muy bien. Now let's draw a circle.
Un círculo, circle.
Hola, dice.
Hola.
Mira, el niño dice hola.
Okay, so how do we learn how to use an app?
¿Cómo aprenden?
Start looking at the top of the app and the bottom of the app.
This is an important thing to be able to do if you want to work on drawing a certain part. So if I wanted to work on drawing his eyes, I might zoom in. Red or yellow?
Red or yellow? Red.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm just really happy that everything worked out well, and as I said, I just wanted to do a small project so I would be happy, and in the end I turned up making a lot of other people happy, but it's not something that I planned, or it was never my life goal, or I don't know, it's something that happened, also thanks to my husband. I have a really, really nice husband who has a really open vision about all this, and he supports me in everything. And I have two nice children that make me also very happy, although sometimes I'm really worried about them, to let them be raised up in a world with a lot of problems, because Curahuasi really has a lot of problems. I think every of us.